Do you ever feel like you are too much for people to handle, too annoying, too this, too that? I believed that lie for so long. As a teenager, actually, even before I was a teenager, in primary school, I remember so distinctly feeling that sense of being too much for people. I can actually trace it back to one single hangout with friends when I was probably in grade 4. I was at a friend's birthday party and we were all hanging out and they had a piano and I was playing on the piano and just being my usual loud self. And I remember a girl who I was friends with came over and slammed the piano shut and said, "Stop, you're just too much, you're too loud, Elise, you need to be quiet." And I remember in that instance this wave of shame coming over me and feeling like, oh my gosh, I just want to crawl up into a corner and disappear. That is the first instance where I felt like I was too much. And from then, as I grew up, I remember I would leave hangouts and I would come home and worry about what people thought of me. I would worry if they liked me, if they thought I was too loud, if I was too much. And I would tell myself, Elise, you're going to be quiet next time. You're not going to say anything. You're just going to listen. You're just going to sort of sit there and observe. Basically, you're not going to be you. This carried out through my teenage years and into my young adult years. I remember when I was dating my now husband, we'd go to events and then when we'd leave, I'd say, oh my gosh, do our friends like me? Did they think, was I too loud? What do you think? Was I? And it'd get to the point where he'd say, Elise, you say this to me every single time. You need to stop. It's fine. I just had this fear in my mind that I was too much for people and that therefore they wouldn't like me. Have you ever felt like that before? Have you ever felt like you were too much for people? Maybe you have believed a different lie, that you are not enough or that you are a failure. Have you ever believed any of those things and then tried to fit yourself into a box that you don't actually fit in? That was my story. I thought I was too much, therefore I told myself that I wouldn't do this or I wouldn't do that or I would be like this or I'd be different and change who I was. But here's the thing that I learned, you guys, along the way, and it was a journey and it still is a journey of reminding myself this, that you can be totally yourself. You can even be the best version of yourself and there will always be someone who doesn't like you. It's like this saying that I've heard before. It says, you can be the ripest, juiciest peach and there will still be somebody who doesn't like peaches. That's the thing. I don't know what it is for you, but I like to sort of think of that analogy in terms of ice cream flavors because I love chocolate ice cream. Like, you could be the most delicious flavor of chocolate ice cream and still there's always someone who doesn't like chocolate, right? Or you could be the most amazing flavor of choc chip cookie dough or anything like that and there will still be someone who doesn't like cookie dough. Or you could be the most wonderful colors of all of the rainbow and there will still be someone who doesn't like rainbows, right? Am I right? Come on, people. We have to remember that not everyone is going to like us. Maybe not everyone is going to connect with who we are, and that is okay. But what I do know is that your unique flavor and my unique flavor is needed in this world. Your quirkiness, for me, I think my loudness, my excitedness, my passion, my zest for life. I love using the word zest. That is needed. That is important and people need that. People need other people around them to be passionate and excited about life. I don't know what it is for you. You might be more on the quiet side of life. You might be someone who lends a quiet listening ear. You might be someone who's there and you might think, oh, I'm just always in the background. I'm not enough. People don't see me. People don't notice me. But actually, your quiet, consistent, constant presence might just be the comfort and the presence that someone else needs who's going through a rough time. So what I want to encourage you to remember is that whatever your flavor it is, whether it's loud, passionate, quiet, consistent, whatever it is needed in this world and there is always someone who needs and loves your flavor. When I feel like I'm too much, I remind myself of what scripture says and what God says about me. And I love what Psalm 139 verse 1 says. It goes like this: I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So when you feel like you are too much, or when you feel like you are not enough, or when you feel like you are a failure, remember who you are in Jesus. Remember who you are in God and who He has created you to be, and start praising Him. This scripture says, I praise you. Ask God to help you overcome your fear of what other people think and thank Him for who He created you to be, and ask Him to use you in that. Ask Him to use you in who you've been created to be so that you can be a great encouragement to others and make an impact in the world. Thank God for your point of difference and thank God for others' point of difference too, because we all have something to give each other. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What sort of lies have you believed? Maybe like me, you believed the lie that you are too much. Maybe you believe the lie that you're a failure. Maybe you believe the lie that you're not enough. or maybe it's something else. Comment down below and tell me. And I've got something for you that I have personally created. It's a freebie I've created for you. It is 10 lies every 20-something should stop believing and the truth you need to know. So you can grab that down below. I'll include a link to it, completely free, but I just want to help you bust those lies and replace them with the truth that God says about you. So head down below, grab that freebie, comment and tell me what a lie is that you've believed, and share this video with a friend so that we can all bust these lies and live in the truth of what God says about us. And before you go, it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to my channel down below so that you can be notified of future videos. And I'll see you next time.